profit as a percentage. That's what we will look at. Okay, Kira sells glass of orange drink for 0.20 each. What does that mean? 20 cents. So we can see orange drink, 20 cents for a glass. Each glass contained 250 milliliters of the drink. Okay, we get that that's actually a standard size of any glass. She sells 10 liters altogether. So quite a lot of liters, isn't it, that she sells. The total cost was €5.50. Okay, that's the total cost of what? Of the 10 liters she did. Work out her profit as a percentage of the total cost. Now, when we are told we need to work out any kind of a percentage, we think about fraction. Now, what kind of fraction? Profit. That goes on top of the fraction of total cost. So total cost, we know, we are told that total cost is €5.50. That's fine, but what about the profit? How do we calculate profit? Well, profit from how much we make, how much we are selling something for. So from sales or income, however you want to call that, we take away the cost of making that particular thing. So sales minus cost will equal profit. Now, we know that she sold drink for 0.2 each. So I understand she sold that, but what we don't know is the cost of each drink, because what we are told, so let's just write here each drink, but what we know is the total, which was 10 liters, and here we know the cost of $5.50. So either we can find the cost of each drink, or we find how much she made in sales. If I was to work out the cost of each drink, I have to convert €5.50 to what? To the amount of drinks that she made. My problem is that the question is, in 10 liters, how many drinks is she going to have? Because again, if we want to look at from the point of sales, it doesn't matter, like I'm saying, from what point we're going to look at. The total sales will be 0.25, 0.20, my apologies, multiplied by the number of drinks. So how do we do that? This is when conversion come in very handy, if we know how to use conversion. And in your junior cert, there's going to be more than one time when you have to convert stuff. So what do I mean by conversion? So I'm saying to myself 10 liters. Well, how many glasses or how many drinks, let's rephrase that, how many drinks is that? So what do I know about each drink? What I know that one drink is what? 250, and this is where we are having a slight problem, milliliters. In order for our conversion to work, I have to compare like with like. So I have to change either 10 liters to milliliters or milliliters into liters. I have to have the same measurement. Okay, so how do I change that? So I'm saying, what do I know about milliliters and liters? What I know is that 1 liter is 1,000 milliliters. Well, so following that logic, 250 milliliters will be how many liters? Oops, that should be a different color. If we are looking at it and we are saying, okay, I actually don't know if 1 liter is 1,000 and 250, how many? That's fine. What you do, you put X and still we are converting. So how do we convert it? Now it will work because we are comparing like with like. So we cross multiply it, and it doesn't matter from what part do you start the cross multiplication. So that means 1 multiplied by 250, which is basically 250, and X multiplied by 1,000. Now, obviously, I want 1,000. I want X, not X multiplied by 1,000. So therefore, we divide both sides of the equation by 1,000 to get rid of that 1,000. And when we put in our calculator 250 divided by 1,000, we'll get is 0.25. So that's how many liters it is. So therefore now I can change that. I can say that 10 liters. I'm looking for how many drinks is that? When 0.25 of a liter is equal 1 drink. And again, the same idea, we multiply across. So 10 multiplied by 1, which will be just 10, and then X multiplied by 0.25. And again, to have the value of X, not X multiplied by a number, we divide 0.25 both sides of the equation, because 0.25 divided by 0.25, that's 1, and 1 multiplied by X is X. Therefore, we only left with X. And again, when we put in our calculator 10 divided by 0.25, we will get the value of 40. So 40 drinks. That's how many drinks she gets from 10 liters of water. Now, that's not the end of our calculation, because that's not what the question was saying. The question was looking for the profit as a percentage of the total cost. But now we can calculate that profit. So we are saying profit, that means my sales minus my cost. So she sold 40 drinks, and each drink was, she got for each drink 0.2 of an euro, so 20 cents for each drink, minus the cost, and the total cost was 5.50, and everything divided by, again, total cost of 5.50. Yeah, so that's my sales, 40 drinks for 20 cents minus the cost and divided by cost. And when we put that in the calculator, first we get a decimal, and to change decimal to percentage, we either multiply by 100 or we move that decimal 2 places. So that means that will be 45.5 to 1 decimal place percent. Very, very typical for your junior cert calculation. So please make sure this is as well the most relevant to daily life up till now. That's one thing that I use in everyday life. It's conversion. It's the calculation that I use most often.